Hey, what is up, investors? Jason here. So in this video, we're going to be talking about 3 different Chinese stocks that have taken a bit of a beating because of regulations by the Chinese government, and that is Alibaba, ticker symbol BABA, Tencent Holdings, ticker symbol TCEHY, which that one trades on OTC, keep that in mind, and DIDI Globabl, ticker symbol DIDI. Now, all 3 of these have seen their stock price come down quite a bit. Now, DiDi is the newest one of the bunch. That one IPO'd back at the end of June. But DiDi was the one that kind of really started the whole process of these stocks really tanking. And these other 2 companies, Baba and Tencent, they are heavily involved into DiDi Group. So there is a lot going on here with these 3 stocks. We're going to be talking about these. We're going to be talking about the issues that are going on between these 3 companies, because they are actually connected in some sort of way by doing business with each other or other investments into each other. And we're going to be talking about where could these stocks be going, because if you look at where the analysts are saying, the analysts actually really praise all 3 of these stocks. There's a lot of growth to be expected, but we do have a whole issue going on in China. So as we get to it, if you guys don't mind, please do me a huge favor. Please be sure to smash, destroy, annihilate, or just gently press that like button. It helps me out a lot with the YouTube algorithm, and it helps spread these videos to more people that might find it interesting. And subscribe if you have not already. And if you are interested in being a Patreon, help support this channel even more, I do have one. The link is in the description. I talk about stocks and crypto there. Thank you to all the Patreons. Now let's get to it. So to keep you guys informed about the way that I do these analysts, I really think out of the box here. My brain is wired a certain way, and I can get very obsessive with the things that I'm talking about. A little bit on the spectrum there, just to let you know. But anyway, so what we're looking at here, what we're seeing is Alibaba Stock. Now, I'm using information from 2019 and 2020 and throwing that into what I'm seeing currently at this moment. I'm going to try to make as much sense out of all this for you guys in a way that you can easily understand it. So looking at the price that DiDi was at when it started its big run back in May of 2019, that led us into pretty much all this stuff going on here. Let's say all the way up to basically the peak before we went into that bit of a correction that we had during the pandemic. So I have the bottom here, and this is currently what we're using as our bottom as well, which we're calling our absolute bottom at the moment, $150. That's our current absolute bottom, just to let you know. We can find a new bottom at any time, but that's where the stock at this moment is showing the most support. So I'm going to say $150 is where we're showing the most support at this moment. Then we have kind of like our yellow light is what we're going to call it. So we have our stop, we have our yellow light here. This is kind of like where the stock could slowly pass this point, and I'm using this as when we got into the largest point of the bull run that it was in before the pandemic. Then we have this green light area right here, which we're calling the green light area, where the pandemic had happened, and we saw a bunch of the the whole stock market in general pretty much crashed in March of 2020, and that's why I'm calling the green light area. Now I'll go into where we're at currently, and I'll zoom in there and make more sense out of it. And then we have this blue light area. This is going to say, hey, if we get in this blue area, this blue line here, this is going to be the run continuing with Alibaba stock. And this is all just my own opinion. None of this is financial advice. So please do keep that in mind. And you guys are welcome to criticize me in the comment section. I actually appreciate it. Anyways, all right, so going at where we're currently at. Now, this is where I'll try to make some sense of it, seeing how we have our absolute bottom, which we know that's where we saw the big tipping point with Baba stock, where it had recently dropped down, got to that 150 mark, and then things turned around. We have this yellow light area where it's kind of maxing out, showing resistance right here, right now. So we're staying below this red line and this yellow line here, between $150 and $170. So we're staying within there right now. And then what we need to be seeing, we need to get in this green light area where we can start seeing the stock start trending back up. Now I'm using also, if you look at where we're at recently, we're looking at when we saw the largest drop before it started showing some support back when we saw the stock drop after the whole conflict that's been going on with China here over these last couple months. So we saw it have a bit of support at this price of $180, which we're able to see go on a little bit of a run. And then we saw a lot of resistance at around $200, and then it wasn't able to sustain, and we saw it tip back over, drop to these previous resistance points down to our last bottom. Now, this whole drop has caused Alibaba to lose a lot of their market cap. Currently, Alibaba's market cap is $440.6 billion. If we look at the 52-week range, their stock is traded between a low of $152, which we're currently around at this moment, and a high of $319. So we're way towards the lower end, and if we were to get anywhere back from where we were in the past, there's potential of a 100% upside if it was to get back on a giant bull run, but that's all up to be seen. But as far as what the analysts think, for the lowest projection for the next 12 months, between 50 analysts, they're expecting Alibaba stock to go to a price of around $192 for the low, a medium of $270, and a high of $339. So there is a lot of room here to really grow, even if we were just to be satisfied with the low. All right, now looking on over at Tencent Stock, currently, which is trading for around $61 a share. We have it broken down the same way with the red, yellow, green, and blue lines. And then we have this white line down here. And this white line is representing an area where it had a lot of support back in 2019, as well as where it had dipped down to during the correction in March of 2020 with the pandemic when all the stocks corrected. Then our red line here is representing a resistance point that it was at before it had corrected in March, as well as an area where it was showing a bit of a resistance before it had started its big bull run that it went on. It's also currently our absolute bottom at this moment. So that's what the red line is representing. The yellow line is representing an area that is showing a lot of resistance, and it's also an area where it had a little bit of resistance before it had continued a bit of a run. Then we have our green line here, which is about where it really started to fall off here. And it's also a spot that back in July and August of 2020, it had shown a bit of resistance from that and where it needed to break out of, where it had gone to the blue line. So looking at all this, the blue line is going to be representing the pretty much the area where it would go into the most bullish area, but also very bullish in going past the green line in general. So what we need to see it doing is we need to surpass this yellow line here where it's showing the bit of a resistance right now at this moment, and get into where we can really start seeing the stock start taking off from there. Going at where we saw the stock start tipping off, that was also at this price here, at this green line, where the stock price was $72, where it was when it started to drop off with everything that started going on with China. So that's where we're at. We need to surpass that area where we were at before and get into this, get above this green line, and Tencent from there could be very solid in my opinion. Now, Tencent does have a market cap that's larger than Alibaba's. Tencent's market cap currently is $568 billion. Now, if we look at Tencent stock over these last 52 weeks, the stock had traded from a high of $99 and a low of $53.47. So we're still very close to that low. And as far as what the analysts are saying, between 46 analysts offering a 12-month price forecast for Tencent Holdings, they have a medium target of $82.52 with a high estimate of $106 and a low estimate of around $45. All right, now for DiDi. Now, not a whole lot of information for DiDi because the stock went public on June 30th. But what we can see with DiDi is that it's currently trading for a price of $8.22. And on its date of its IPO, the stock had IPO'd at a price of $14. It had gone up a little bit on that day and the next day, but then quickly had dropped off due to all the drama that had been going on with China. Now, it had found support for a little while there at a price of around $11, which it had a little bit of stability until it wasn't able to hold on to that. Now, that's our current resistance point that we're trying to get to at this moment. But our absolute bottom that we've seen is around $7. So that's where we set the red line. So we're currently between this price of $7 and $11 is kind of where we're hanging out at. But what we really need to be doing is we really need to be seeing the stock go back towards that price of that $14 where it IPO'd at. And that's where I'm setting the bullish area, because anything over that, we're in the green as far as where the stock has been. But looking into the more bullish area is where the stock was wanting to go after that IPO, where it was trying to go to a price of around $17. Now, if we are to look at where the stock was over these last 52 weeks, the stock had been trading between a price of $7.16 and $18. Now, looking at what their market cap is, DiDi is a pretty good-sized company. It has a market cap of nearly $40 billion, and some of its biggest investors are Alibaba and Tencent. As far as those two companies go, they have a lot of applications that were working with DiDi as well. So they're all kind of interconnected within their whole ecosystem there, as far as applications and investments and such. Now, I am making this video before the earnings, so do keep that in mind when watching this, that things could easily be changing. As far as where the analysts expect DiDi to go, now we only have it between two analysts offering a 12-month price forecast for DiDi, and they have a medium target of $21.88 with a high estimate of $25 and a low estimate of around $18.80. Now, I think that there is a lot of potential there with DiDi, but it's still waiting to be seen. I was invested in the DiDi when it had its IPO, but I was very cautious of it as far as all the drama started to unfold with China, and then I ended up selling out of it. So I think that if all that stuff is solved and those issues aren't present anymore, and DiDi does what they have to do to make the Chinese government happy, then I think that there is a lot of potential to really be coming from DiDi. But at this moment, it's one that I am staying away from. But as far as the other two, Alibaba and Tencent, I like those stocks a lot. And I think that there's a lot of great growth opportunity to be coming from them. And I think that whatever these regulations are, they also do need to be getting over that. But in the long run, I think that this whole thing has really created a good buying opportunity for both Tencent and Alibaba. And it's going to be interesting to follow all three of them and see what the whole outcome is in the long run here. But I think that these are exciting stocks to be investing into. Just for DiDi right now, just a bit of red tape, but the other guy is I just like a great opportunity in my personal opinion, but not financial advice. I don't want to try to influence you guys with that. But I'd like to hear from the people that are invested into all three of these. If there's anybody that doesn't own any shares of Alibaba, DiDi, or Tencent, let me know. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are in the comments section. So with that being said, please like, share, comment, subscribe. New videos coming out all the time. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.